Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bask in the Trash. In this episode, we're going to be talking about some solutions I've found for dealing with gang stalking. Okay, so I'm going to take you through how to protect your body, so techniques that I've found to protect yourself from directed energy weapons that the Department of Defense is using against you. Um, we're also going to talk about techniques for your mind, so being as this is a trauma-based mind control program that you're under, I have some techniques that have been helpful for me to strengthen your mind and let a lot of stuff go. And finally, we're going to cover some spiritual elements to all this. So I just want to preface this by saying that there is a pretty strong possibility that Google and YouTube will censor this material. So if this video gets taken down, I want to say that this video will be on BitChute, and I'll include the link below. Okay, so let's get into this. So if you're like me and you've researched this program a little bit, maybe the most daunting element of it, at least to me, is the electronic harassment element of this. Because the other stuff, it kind of loses its fervor after a while. You get mobbed, you get followed around, you get harassed with street theater, noise campaigns, stuff like that, for long enough that you don't really care at a certain point. But the electronic harassment, that is consistent, and that's potentially taking years off of your life and is destroying your health over time. So the best thing that I have found to protect yourself against electromagnetic frequencies like microwaves and other radiation that they're directing at you via cell phone towers and Wi-Fi is Organite. Okay, so this concept is based off of William Reich's orgone energy. Now, that may sound kind of funky to you, but there was this German guy who studied and came up with this theory of orgone energy, which he argued was life energy. So the more orgone that you had, the more more vitality and life energy that you had. And his research that took place over years eventually got completely censored by the government. The FBI came and burned all of his books on orgone energy. Okay, so Organite was developed from some of his research that was able to, some of it was saved. Okay, so Organite is a combination of a few elements, iron, powder, crystals, and I forget the other thing. But here's what it looks like. Okay, so here's an Organite pyramid. Now what this will do is this is going to protect you. It's going to create kind of like a force field, if you will, around you, so that the energy being directed at you in the form of microwaves and other harmful radiation to you, it's not going to be able to penetrate and hurt you if you don't have this. Okay, I know that sounds funky, and do your own research on that, definitely. If you don't buy into that. But something interesting about Organite is it's actually being used and studied by the U.S. Navy currently to determine its likelihood of protecting against electronic weapons. Okay, so if that's any indication to you that this is legit, definitely check it out. And this is probably the most expensive thing that I'm going to be advocating for in this video. And I know a lot of TIs have a pretty strict budget because asset stripping is definitely a huge component of this program. I know I've had money stolen from me. So if this is too expensive, this was about $100. Okay, so if that's outside of your budget, you can make your own Organite, and there's videos on how to do that online, and it didn't look too hard. Okay, so the next element that we're going to talk about is RFID microchips. Okay, so it's very likely that you've been illegally implanted by the CIA at the Pentagram, or the Pentagon, as I like to joke. By the Department of Defense. DARPA has had access to RFID microchips for a long time now, and they started with dogs to see the effects, and now they're illegally implanting humans. So I'm fairly certain that I've been implanted several times over. So some of the common places through my research, I've found that you get implanted by RFID microchips in this program is behind your ear. So right here is a common place, or other side, and behind your shoulder. So I have one right here. I might have one on the other side, but I definitely have one on the right shoulder. So what you're going to do to combat that is you're going to get a really strong neodymium magnet. Okay, this is a rare earth magnet, and it is legit. Okay, maybe you've read about this if you've gone down the rabbit hole of gang stalking, but this is the one that I have. Okay, and this is over 500 pounds strength. So for a while, like when I first read about rare earth magnets as a way to combat electronic harassment a few years ago, I rushed to the store, like a hardware depot, and picked up kind of like small neodymium magnets. That's all they sold there. That's not what you're looking for. Okay, so I used those for a while, and I put those behind my ear, trying to nullify the chip that's there. And it didn't work because the surface area is too small and it's not strong enough. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go online. And I can include the link to this company, Brute Magnetics. That's where I bought this. And this is like for fishing purposes. So this is really strong. And what you're going to want to do with this, if you buy one, is you're just going to want to, hold it where you think that you've been implanted. You're going to hold it there for the span of a few hours. And if you have been implanted illegally by the US government or a different government, then what you may find is that you're going to have some weird sensations if you have this over the spot that you've been implanted. So you may feel like a pulse, almost like inside of you, like a kind of like a shock almost. And you won't only feel it there, you'll also feel it in other places that you have nanotechnology. I know this sounds very sci-fi, but this is real. This technology exists. So once you put that in a common place that people get implanted, like behind your ear, behind your shoulder, then if you have successfully located, that process will tell you where other chips might be in your body by the little shock that you feel inside of you. I don't know how to better explain that, but just give it a try, and again, do your own research on all of this before you buy anything. Okay, so that is the start of like a section that I like to call starving the beast. Okay, so high level, why you're in this program is you're getting your brain and your soul mapped. Okay, so what does that mean? You're getting the essence of you uploaded to a supercomputer, to AI, and you are actually training AI to better perceive reality. Okay, now that might be a difficult pill to swallow, but that is at a high level what the Illuminati and what the Department of Defense, and that's what they're doing. That's why you're in this program. You're training AI. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to starve the beast of your data. Okay, so with with that neodymium magnet, you're going to starve the beast of your bioelectric data. So they're collecting data on your emotions, on your heart, things like your heart rate, uh, with these chips and with this nanotechnology. So you have like a neural network inside of you, um, if you're a target of this program. So you're going to want to starve the beast by using a magnet, nullifying those chips. Now maybe you're asking, well, wouldn't it be ideal if you could get the chips removed? If you have a good hunch, maybe you could get an X-ray or an MRI or something. The reason I advocate for a cheaper option is just that. You're not going to want to break the bank, and doctors are not really going to help you out with this. Okay, like they're going to be controlled as well. They're not going to remove something that's been implanted by the CIA in you. You see what I'm saying? So save yourself some money, save yourself a headache, get a strong, I advocate for over 500-pound strength neodymium magnet. It really works well. You can also have that under your pillow when you sleep, and that along with the Organite. You get one of these and you get a magnet. You might find that you start to sleep better again. And the directed energy weapons don't have the same energy draining effect that they do without using them. So along with starving the beast of your data, this is a less specific piece of advice. I would limit your internet use. Okay, and definitely if you have a smartphone, I would get rid of that. Okay, that's another torture mechanism that they're using on you. What I would get, if you absolutely need a phone, get one of these. Go old school. Get a flip phone for emergencies. It's not going to be able to track you as well, and it's not going to be collecting data on you. That's going to better profile you in their supercomputer at the NSA, or the Department of Homeland Security, or at Google. Any of these places are not going to be able to track you as well if you just have one of these for emergencies. So starve the beast at every turn. You won't regret it. Okay, so that was how to protect your body. Oh, one more thing on that. A big thing that you might read about online is people using like aluminum foil on their walls or behind their furniture to protect themselves. I haven't fully really delved into that. I don't really want my residence to look like the inside of a spaceship or something. So I haven't fully tried that. I can't advocate one way or the other. Definitely look into that if you want an even cheaper option than these. But I can't say one way or the other if that works. Haven't fully tried it. Okay, so that's how to protect your body. Some ideas for that. The next thing we're going to go into is how to protect your mind from this consistent abuse. This trauma-based mind control program. So the first thing that I would advocate for with this is definitely meditation. Okay, now this may seem trite, like trite advice that is given all the time of like, oh, you should meditate, and it's become very popular and almost westernized. But it really works and it really helps. The meditation that I practice that has really done a lot for me is mindfulness meditation. So basically this just requires that I sit in a room, close my eyes, and I allow my breath to be an anchor to the present moment. So you just sit, breath comes in, breath comes out, and you're able to watch your thoughts as well. So you just watch thoughts come and go, and a thought comes in, and then you just watch it flow down the river of your mind's eye. And you practice that enough for the span of months and years, and you're going to be able to, have like 50 perpetrators, mobbing you, harassing you, doing street theater and stuff, and in public, and you're not going to care. You're just going to, if it gets so bad that your heart rate's up and you're upset. If you've done a lot of meditation, then you can meditate right there quickly. You can just stop, pause, focus on your breath, catch your breath, and go on with your day and realize that nothing outside of you can really affect you if you're centered. Okay, so meditation every day is definitely good exercise. Next one, next technique for your mind is just that, exercise. So no matter how bad your harassment gets, you're going to want to, if you're a guy, I advocate for lifting weights. You could do that as if you're female as well, but for girls, you can go for a run, go for a walk. Anything that's going to get your heart pumping is what we're looking for here. So along with just general good advice, but definitely for TIs, the next one is your diet. So you're going to want to be the purest form of yourself if you're being subjected to this. And what I mean is that you're going to want to eat clean. You're going to want to eat fruits and vegetables mostly, and that's it if you're vegetarian or vegan. But if you eat meat, stick to lean beef, stick to wild fish like salmon, stuff like that. You're going to want to eat clean, basically. Along with this, you're going to want to drink good water. So tap water, no. Do not drink tap water. Especially if you're a TI, you're not going to be wanting to drink tap water. Even filtered tap water. Okay, do not drink that unless it is reverse osmosis filtered water. So if you're filtering your tap water with a reverse osmosis filter, that might be okay. I haven't tried that, but that's the best filter that you're going to want if you go that route. You're going to want to be drinking spring water primarily. And so here's another technique that kind of pertains to the mind, at least in my opinion. You're going to want to get cameras if you can afford them. So you're going to want a camera for your residence to document any break-ins. You're going to want to get a camera for your car if you have one to document the vehicular stalking and mobbing that you're experiencing, as well as document any faulty, fake, staged car accidents as a result of this program. I've actually been in one of those. I had a guy who told me that he just got out of jail, slammed his motorcycle into the side of my car, and he was driving the wrong way. Like, he was in the wrong lane for the way he was going. It was very obviously staged. So you get a camera for your car, and something else that I really like, if you can afford them, this is all based on your budget, is these. Okay, so these are glasses. They have a camera right here. So anytime you go for a walk, you go for a run, you put these on, you press record, you're gonna get these people's faces who are stalking you. If they're doing street theater, you're gonna get it on camera. And I put this in the psychological mind categories because a lot of you, if you're in this program and you're like me, before I started recording and obtaining evidence of this injustice, I would always kind of feel like crap when I had to leave the house. Like when I had to go to the store, do things that you just have to do as a human being, I would be like, okay, here we go again, like, time to get harassed. With this, you're going to feel a lot more powerful, okay? Because your thought process might change to, all right, time to gather evidence on one of the biggest crimes against humanity of this century. So you're going to feel good if you have the means to record what is going on around you. And then, I would say, if you're comfortable with this and you get some good evidence of this, post it online. This needs to get out. People need to know about this. And my computer just froze. Okay. So get cameras. All right, this is the last portion of this video is talking about the spiritual element behind gang stalking. So the more you research this, the more you realize that there is a spiritual component to this. This is like the end times book of Revelation in the Bible prophesized satanic ritual abuse. You are being persecuted by the general public. Okay? And so satanic ritual abuse is a huge element of this program. And to give you a little bit of background on where I've been spiritually is I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school all throughout high school, and I remember when I was like 15, I was like a sophomore in high school, I really started getting into atheism. I started reading the books of the great minds of atheism, like Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and I became obsessed. And I'm going to this Catholic school, and I'm like a closet atheist kind of thing. And I remember I couldn't even hold back anymore. I was in these theology classes, and I started debating my theology professors on religion. Like it got kind of ridiculous. So I was an atheist for a lot of years, all throughout college and then afterwards. And it was really only sort of recently, within the past couple years, after I had been subjected to this program for several years, that I turned back to God, kind of, and it made complete sense to me, and it still does, because life exists in dualities, the yin and the yang. So if your government is able to create hell on earth for you through this system of community mobbing, there has to be the opposite of that. Now, whatever you want to call that, nirvana, the kingdom of God, heaven, it has to be, there has to be the opposite of that. And I really do believe that. And I think that this harassment is not going to go on forever. And that something big is going to happen pretty soon as a result of all this. And these people, who are manipulating all these perpetrators and sending them your way, they know this. They know we're in these kind of end times, and a lot of them are Satanists. The satanic cabal that controls everything. And they're trying to transcend humanity. The transhumanism movement is what these people are about, like Ray Kurzweil and Elon Musk. These people know that they're going to be damned by higher power, so they're looking to just navigate around that. let's just become gods, so that we can't be subjected to judgment. It's like that's kind of how these people think who are orchestrating this program. So you got to sort of like step into their shoes in a way. And if you call on a higher power, whether, whoever that is, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, Krishna, Allah, whoever that is for you, you won't regret it, because your prayers, they have a good chance of being answered. And I know a lot of mine have, since I, returned to the faith, kind of. And it's also kind of out of necessity as well, because if you're going through this program and you're an atheist or you're agnostic, you're going to have next to no chance. If your view on the world is very nihilistic, and your view is that, oh, well, there is no meaning to life, it's only my perception, that gives it meaning. If you're going through this program, you're going to get eaten alive. And you are going to be more likely to doing exactly what they want, lashing out, hurting someone else, or hurting yourself if you don't have some sort of spiritual foundation. So I'll leave it there for the spiritual aspect. And, if you like this video, like it down below, or comment, even better. If you have, if you're a real TI and you're going through this, maybe comment on what you've tried, what's worked for you, down below. Because what we really need is for the targeted individual community to come together and have more open dialogue. So definitely comment if you like this, or if you didn't, whatever. And much love and peace to you.